All right, we have a potential life-threatening situation going on here. Multiple threats across metropolitan area and into New Jersey. All right, there's a flash flood warning that covers the entire city of Philadelphia, Lower Bucks County, parts of Camden and Gloucester counties, parts of Newcastle County. Flooding can be the biggest killer in this area. All right, there's also a severe thunderstorm warning in this area in orange that covers the Trenton area, part of Lower Bucks, and into Monmouth County. And now this little area is a tornado warning, just issued by the National Weather Service. This just about goes into Pemberton and Browns Mills, but it also potentially covers the Fort Dix area. There's the tornado warning until 10:45. It's indicated by radar, but the radar happens to be very close to this. And so we often have the problem where the radar beam is going up and shooting into the cloud so that we don't know if the circulation is up in the cloud or near the ground. But if we're near the radar, it's closer to the ground. So there's a little better chance that this could actually be reaching the ground. So this goes toward Fort Dix, 1036, 1038 McGuire Field, 1039 New Hanover, 1042 New Egypt. All right, that is the one potential threat. But we don't want you to just concentrate on that. We have several areas of severe thunderstorms. As a matter of fact, even in Cape May, we just had a wind gust reported at 78 miles an hour. Cape May Point. You get a wind that strong, if there are any boats out there, there may be trouble in that area as well. Now, of course, we've had this cluster of severe storms coming through the Philadelphia area just during the last couple of hours. You've seen the lightning, you've heard the thunder, the rain has been torrential, but it's also moved into the area that got hit hard earlier today. And now it's covering the area that got hit so hard on Monday. So we're certainly very concerned about what is going to be happening or what may be happening right now in parts of Northeast Philly and Lower Bucks County when you have thunderstorms this fierce on top of the ground that is totally saturated. Creeks may be starting to rise as well. Now, this is moving. This is not a stationary storm like what we had last Monday. So the back end of this starting to lighten up across Center City and Mount Airy and Chestnut Hill and the airport, Delaware County improving. Still raining, but it's not raining at this level. And we're not seeing the lightning at this level. There's Bristol, right where we had that horrible flooding on Monday. And we're talking about a lot of rainfall. This is the back end here, as you can see in Philadelphia, not nearly as heavy. Farther to the south, we've seen the heavy storms move through now into Pittsgrove. And at the Jersey Shore, the Cape May storms have started to move out. We have severe storms up and down the coast. This is in Cape May County, the upper portion of the county near Strathmere. Atlantic City's way up there. So Atlantic City, not in that kind of target, at least not yet. Now, as you can see, once this cluster is passed, we're in good shape. There's no more heavy thunderstorms behind this. But it's going to take a while for the conditions in the streets to improve. We're late at night on a Saturday night. Obviously, if you're at home, you don't want to be going out. There's a lot of the area that is covered with these kind of warnings. So this is not the night to be heading out. Look at Delaware. Look at these storms coming in through eastern Maryland and about to go into Kent County. We don't have a warning out just yet, but remember that tornado warning that covers a portion of Burlington County, including Fort Dix and McGuire. You want to go to a central room or basement, any kind of high rise, you go to a bathroom. In many cases, we've seen pictures of homes practically totally destroyed by a tornado, and the only thing standing is the bathroom. Those pipes in the walls help to keep it stronger. You want to stay away from windows, and no matter where you are, to cover your head. Some people take a mattress off the bed, go into the bathtub, and put the mattress on top. This, once again, is the multiple threat. We're talking about severe thunderstorms, we're talking about flash flooding, we're talking about a potential tornado. Now that tornado covers a very small area. The flooding covers a large area, a very large area. So I'm going to go over and check on the radar and check on any other reports, see if we have any updates on that particular storm.
Glenn, it's Ted Greenberg here with you in the studio, and I just wanted to give you an update from the National Weather Service that tornado warning it appears to have extended east a bit, now across northern Ocean County, and that is including areas of New Egypt, north of Manchester Township, so that would be part of Ocean County, still a bit of Burlington County as well, and then extending into Monmouth County. Glenn, do we have any idea how much rain has fallen in some parts of the area so far? As you've been telling us, we know that parts of Northeast Philadelphia and certainly lower Bucks County very vulnerable already because of the tremendous amount of rain that they saw earlier in the week, and now we have more tonight.
As a matter of fact, this is the estimated rainfall up to date. That's the wider view. Just to give you an idea of what those numbers mean, that red that is in Hunterdon County in New Jersey, that's 5 to 6 inches of rain. I've seen pictures in Hunterdon County of cars underwater and some reports of people saying that the flooding is worse than it was during Sandy. So it's extremely dangerous in that particular county. This is what I updated a little while ago. Let me do it live because these numbers, of course, keep changing. So now this is near the Pennsylvania Turnpike in Montgomery County, east of Norristown, west of Willow Grove, 2.5 inches. Now we're parts of Northeast Philly, parts of Lower Bucks. And this is just today's rain. We're not talking about the rain that fell on Monday. Some of it fell earlier this afternoon. Some of it fell in the last hour. A lot of it fell in the last hour. In general, in Philly, we're talking about 1.5 to 2 inches. Let's get a little closer to the area with the greatest amounts of rain. Computer is being a little misbehaving here. Now, as we go into, this is in Bucks County, Cottageville, 4.3, near Soulbury Township, 4.5, and then across the river in New Jersey, we're talking about 5 to 6 inches.
And Glenn, over in the Garden State, Burlington County, including the Joint Base area, that area is under a tornado warning till 10:45.
There it is. Now, the first area is the original tornado warning, and then this one that includes Plumstead and Jackson, that is the newer area. So let me put the radar on to show you where the storms are. Right there. So you see the way it's bulging out toward Plumstead?
Basically
There's some
crossing, we see that, yeah, we see that line in Burlington County, but then also spreading into the ocean and Monmouth areas there.
Right. So if this continues, Plumstead in just a couple of minutes, and Red Valley 1050, Midwood 1051, Burkesville 1053, Maryland 1056, Jackson 1057. All right, this is not the most populated part of New Jersey. You know New Jersey better than just about anybody, Ted. Tell me about
There are a lot of
those
rural areas there. I mean, we're talking about Jackson. We certainly have great adventure there. That would be
Right.
Six Flags, a major attraction that most people would be familiar with. But yeah, there's a lot of rural area there in most of those towns that we're seeing. Some business centers, but also a lot of rural areas. But Glenn, even though that tornado warning is expiring right now, at last check from the National Weather Service in Burlington County, that doesn't necessarily mean that these areas are out of the woods for severe weather, right? I mean, we've been looking at your radar,
Right.
and
you still see the oranges here. That
Exactly.
Those are that is a severe thunderstorm warning that is still in effect. The computer trying to stall there. Okay, you can see the storm basically breaking into pieces, one piece up by Trenton and toward Millstone, and then the other area south of Pemberton. So it may very well be that the storm is starting to break apart into pieces, but
what would that
tremendous.
What would that do to the storm's strength?
Well, it would take away from it in any individual spot, so right where that tornado threat would be. But you see this orange area, that now has extended the severe thunderstorm warning until 11:15. Let me check this tornado warning. Yeah, that has also been extended till 11:15. You getting any other reports from the Weather Service?
Not at the moment, but continuing to check as we speak.
All right. We have another flash flood warning for Burlington County, Southeast Mercer County, Northwest Ocean County, that's just been issued. We're talking about the roads. Eventually, of course, we got to talk about the creeks. So it's the roads that get flooded first, then the creeks, perhaps hours later, and then in the next day or two, potentially river flooding. The radar still indicates rotation. They have not indicated on the warning that we particularly have had confirmation of a tornado. Now, it's really hard to do that at the night when it's pouring rain and you can't see. So I wouldn't necessarily expect confirmation of a tornado at this time.
But those conditions that you just mentioned, Glenn, torrential rain, darkness, wind, with the threat of flash flooding across the region, really to reiterate your point about not going out to drive right now. I mean, we're talking about very dangerous conditions with the tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning, flash flood warning. Some of these areas where these warnings are in effect are very rural, dark. You may not know what you might potentially be driving into, what shape these roads might be in right now, and how hazardous and dangerous they might be. And we see that line, even as Glenn said, it appears to be perhaps breaking apart a bit. It is stretching all the way from Trenton, north of Mercer County, all the way down across much of South Jersey, certainly the southwestern parts of South Jersey, including much of, not all of Burlington County, but Camden County as well, parts of Gloucester County there. It looks like some of it is extending into Cumberland and Salem as well. And here in Philadelphia, some heavy rain, it appears from the radar there, and it's still in the northeast as it moves out and moves across into New Jersey. And now Glenn is zeroing in there again on the Philadelphia area, the Montgomery, Abington and Montgomery County, and also right there in Burlington County and Bucks County, we're seeing all of that activity.
It's finally really lightened up in Salem. Bustleton area still getting heavy rain out of this. The tornado warning that was issued that goes till 11:15 is moving east at 45 miles an hour. It's still, again, based on radar. It includes Interstate 195 in New Jersey between mile markers 17 and 23. So again, that's not a very populated area at all.
Right, but at 195 is a pretty heavily traveled interstate there that brings people from the Garden State Parkway across the state to the Trenton area. So that is an area where there is potentially some traffic, certainly on Saturday. But hopefully people are getting these warnings and heeding the advice of staying inside. And you have it highlighted right there, Jackson. I mean, as we said a few minutes ago.
Right, Jackson's right in the middle
Jackson
of the...
is right in the middle there, and that is where Six Flags is. So that is a location that many people are familiar with. And then it appears to be extending there into the Lakewood area in Northern Ocean County, Leisure Village, which is a retirement community. You're talking about an area there in that part of Ocean County where there are a lot of retirement communities and a lot of people from across our entire region, from parts of New Jersey, Pennsylvania. A lot of people end up moving there to these 55 and over communities. And these are areas right now in that orange area and the red area where the tornado warning is at the moment.
Right. You can see the tornado warning covers obviously a much smaller area, but the severe thunderstorm warning in the orange covers several different counties, a good bit of Mercer County, east of Trenton, but also Monmouth County and parts of Ocean and Burlington counties. But I also want to emphasize these areas in green. These are not just flash flood watches or advisories. These are flash flood warnings. And what we had on Monday was upgraded from this green flash flood warning to a flash flood emergency. If we see that happening, that emphasizes the threat to people's lives. People drown in their cars by trying to drive through flooded roads. Look at the extent of this. I'm not sure that I've seen so many counties covered in a flash flood warning at the same time. This is a very unusual situation. This goes from northern Delaware through all of Delaware County, the eastern portion of Montgomery County, the entire city of Philadelphia, the northern portion of Camden, Gloucester, Burlington counties, lower Bucks County, which of course got hit so hard on Monday, as well as Burlington County right across the river, and then Mercer County as well. Now, this is not just going to disappear in a couple of hours. It's almost 11 o'clock at night. You have plans for tomorrow morning, or somebody that has plans for tomorrow morning. You're going to have to check the weather and the road conditions before you go out, because we're pretty sure there are going to be roads that are flooded. There may be roads that are closed in the morning. And even though it's a Sunday morning, it's a good thing it's not a weekday, or the morning rush hour would be a total nightmare. But there are going to be some significant delays and inconveniences during the morning. And again, you do not want to drive through flooded roads. Even a foot of water, especially if it's moving, can knock a car off. Once you lift up the tires, you've lost control. And then the water is in control, not you as the driver. You got thousands of pounds in your car and the weight of it. And even if it's a truck, but once it loses contact with the ground, you're at the mercy of the water, and the water decides what happens.
Glenn, we want to mention that tonight's Phillies game at Citizens Bank Park, where we have a live look right now. That game with the Marlins has been suspended.
The tornado warning just expired or was canceled. That red area on the map just disappeared.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. That was the tornado warning that was extending mostly into Ocean and Monmouth counties. So, Glenn, thank you for that update. Again, the game with the Phillies versus the Marlins at Citizens Bank Park, that has been suspended because of the severe weather that we have been telling you about. All of the heavy rain that we are seeing across the area, the lightning, the thunder, the tornado warnings that Glenn has been following, and just take a look at some of these rainfall amounts, the estimated rainfall amounts, right, Glenn? This appears to be in Bucks County, parts of Bucks County, more than 4 inches of rain across the river there.
Right. That's near Buckingham.
Yep, in Buckingham, and then I believe that's Hunterdon County across the river, right? Where 5.8 and almost 6.8 inches of rain have fallen. Yep.
Yeah, and then Mercer County, part of Mercer County, we're talking about nearly 6 inches. Trenton itself has not gotten as much, but we've had reports of Ewing Township with a considerable amount of flooding as well.
Right, a lot of reports coming out of Ewing there in Mercer County with cars being submerged by water, and you can certainly understand why, as we see on that map right there showing the estimated rainfall totals over the past 24 hours, much of it coming, right, Glenn, within the past 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
And that's just a tremendous amount of rain to fall.
Just with that one thunderstorm cluster that came in. Everybody has seen the lightning or heard the thunder. If you live anywhere near Philadelphia or Wilmington or Trenton or Montgomery, Bucks counties, I mean, this is one of those storms that covers just about everybody. We have the report of flooding on the Schuylkill between City Avenue and Montgomery Drive. So again, there are going to be roads that have significant flooding. There are going to be roads that are closed. And when it's such a widespread flood event like this, it's sometimes hard for the police and other officials to keep up with it and to make sure that the roads are closed and that there are barricades so that people can't go through it. So if you see those flooded roads, even though if you don't see the police there, you've got to turn around.
Because the police have to contend with these same conditions, and they're trying to respond to all sorts of issues and emergencies resulting from the weather and everything else that happens, and they have to be able to get through some of these areas, and that's just impossible. And just take a look at how much rain and how many parts of our region there in all 3 states are involved here with this severe weather tonight.
All right, first take a look. This is a 2-hour loop, and you can see the red that we've been watching all day coming from central Pennsylvania. We've been telling you about this, and that it would be late this evening. It would still be even worse, and all of those lightning strikes. And our computer here that is getting the reports of these lightning strikes is apparently underestimating the amount of lightning. Steve Sosna just texted me about that he has another device that can detect the amount of lightning, and this is just a portion of the amount of lightning. But look at what has happened now. It's practically over in Philadelphia. It is over in Delaware County. It's just about over in Chester County. In Berks County, it's just a little bit of light rain. In Montgomery County, much of Montgomery County, it's just some light rain. Even Bucks County has seen the rain diminish. Now the heavy activity is still in Mercer County and into Middlesex County, New Jersey.